Hey everyone, it's JD. Welcome back to the channel. So, Assetto Corsa EVO just came out yesterday, and there's a lot of hype surrounding that game of the world of sim racing. So I thought it would be a good idea to have a first look and see what this early access has to offer so far. So we're gonna look at a few key points. The first one being the content that the early access provides us, the visuals, also the performance of those visuals, the overall physics of the vehicle, the force feedback, and then we're going to look at the AI and maybe finish with an outlook on the potential this game has. So buckle up. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. All of this is free and it would support and help me tremendously. Thank you so much. Let's get going. Alright, so the first point I wanted to talk about is the content that the game has to offer. So right now, unfortunately, the servers are offline. So the game is struggling to provide us with stable server, most likely because there was so many people downloading the game, the hype was quite high, so Kunos has been struggling to provide stable servers. So right now we're only having an offline version of the study, which prevents us from using some of the content that was promised to us at release of the early access. So we have to take this with a grain of salt. Things are going to evolve, things are going to change. Once the servers become online, more of the content will become available, and we will definitely at that point circle back and have another look and maybe provide better review of the actual product that we get with the early access. But for now, we're just going to have a first look at it with what is on offer on the offline version of the game. So that's it. And it's not really too concerning to me. I mean, it's understandable that they have issues with servers, although you pay for a product, so it's unfortunate that it doesn't work. But we've seen this with much larger studios like Bungie or Treyarch or all of these massive studios that release multiplayer games every year. They pretty much always struggle with having stable servers on the first few days. A good example is Destiny 2 on their last massive expansion. The servers were just unavailable for a whole day when it released. So Kunos being a small studio, it's not very surprising. Hopefully they'll be able to fix that as soon as possible. But right now the content that we have with this early access is 20 cars. We have 5 tracks, the single player option, which allows us to do some practice and quick races, as well as playing with all the different weather conditions and all of this stuff. So we're still allowed to play and try the game, but we're just not able to do the things like having the license done, doing the academy. Any of the online features are not saving right now, like you can't really create your own driver or pilot, things like that. So it's a bit unfortunate, but we still have a chance to try the game and see what it looks like. Which brings me to my next point, which are the visuals. When it comes to graphic, this game looks pretty good. It doesn't blow me out of the water, but it's pretty nice, pretty decent. We have nice visuals. It kind of is on par or to the level of their previous game, which is ACC. I think it might be a little better than ACC, but it's not such a massive step up that it really is wowing anyone at the moment, I don't think. But it's still nice. The only issue that we're seeing is really the performance part of it, and hopefully they'll be able to optimize their engine a lot more, because right now it was difficult for me to get over 80 frames per second, and I have a pretty good PC. It's not necessarily top of the line, but it's pretty good, and I was easily getting 180 frames per second on Assetto Corsa Competizione at ultra graphics. Right now I get at least 100 frames less than that when I'm on ultra with Assetto Corsa EVO. So this is quite a drop for a game that is not massively better looking visually. So they'll have to definitely optimize this. The other thing too that takes a big hit is when you change the number of opponents on track with you, as well as the weather effect. Honestly, when I turned on the rain and I added a few opponents, up to 22 racers I think on track total, my frame rate really tanked, and it was now about 30 to 40 frames per second, which was completely awful, and for a racing game, pretty much unplayable, to be honest. It is definitely something you need to have a smooth, fluid visuals to be able to make quick reaction times, reflects on your driving, obviously. So that's definitely a part that is a bit disappointing, and hopefully they'll be able to improve as it moves forward. The next thing to look at is the physics. So at least on that level, Kunos really nailed the physics, in my opinion. I feel like it's better than ACC. Most of my experience with sim racing has been with ACC for the past months, and although it's pretty good, I do feel sometimes like I lack certain information. I don't feel certain behaviors of the car, whereas here, at least from the laps that I did with the different cars that I use, I could really feel the weight of the car, really feel the tires gripping, tires losing their grip on braking, on corner entry, on accelerating, corner exits. All the behaviors, I could feel them, as well with the force feedback, the sound. Everything was kind of very spot on to really make me understand what was happening with my car, and gave me that good of a driving experience, in my opinion. So that's definitely a very positive point, and it's the foundation of a sim racing game. So that really reassures me in terms of the future of that game, because it's definitely one of the most important points for a sim racing game. So Kunos nailed it. That's great. Next thing that we need to look at is, at least for now, because we can only do the single player, is to look at the AI behaviors, and how fun they can be to race against, right? Because a good AI can really make the single player experience a lot of fun, but a bad AI can really ruin the single player experience. So my first impression on the AI is pretty bad. It's not completely awful, but they're definitely not super strong. Even if you crank it up to 100, they're fairly easy to beat. They do have some sort of weird behaviors sometimes. I'm assuming some of this is bugs and glitches. Like sometimes you will see them, for whatever reason, give a big steering wheel input and get into the grass for no reason. There's different things like that. When they follow you and they're on exit, it almost feels like they can accelerate like so much more than you can, and they will just like slam you in the back and make you go off, right? So there are things like that where like the AI is really not that great to race against, and Kunos will have to look at this and try to fix this as soon as possible, especially given that they're trying to attract a lot of the single player racers out there that play Gran Turismo and Forza and all these other very popular racing games that are very focused on the single player aspect. So AI definitely needs some work. Now, my last point that I wanted to touch base on is the potential that this game has. Obviously, there's a lot of hype surrounding that game. It does feel like Kunos has a big vision for it, and if they can manage to fix some of the issues that we're seeing and continue on providing us with content in the future, I definitely think this game has a bright future. It will probably attract some people that are interested in the open world when this gets released. It will attract people from the Gran Turismo and Forza communities that are interested in, doing something more like career stuff and licenses and academy and developing their skills and just basically growing through the game as single player racers. So this is definitely something that they're looking at creating with this game. The other part is I hope that they will be able to implement some good multiplayer. I'm not entirely sure whether they intend to have this game have a competitive version of it, kind of like ACC, or if they don't plan on having on competitive servers and whatnot. But I do think that if the game is running great, has a variety of cars and classes, and a multiplayer tacked on top of it with great organized ranking and online races, scheduled races, this could very much be the ultimate sim racing game for the next few years. So definitely a lot of potential. There's a bright future for this game ahead of us. Hopefully Kunos will be able to nail it. I'm really confident in Kunos. I feel like they have proved to us that they are a very competent studio when it comes to sim racing games. Their two previous Assetto Corsa were literally beloved amongst the communities, and hopefully with mods maybe in the future as well, this Assetto Corsa EVO game could really be a masterpiece. Alright guys, well, thanks so much for sticking up to the end. I hope you enjoyed. Looking forward to doing future videos with Assetto Corsa EVO and all the other games I'm gonna play. So if you like, again, just make sure you subscribe, and I'll be looking to get back to you very soon. Have a great day.